Welcome to International Championship Wrestling. I'm Tim Tyler along with Edgar Wallace. And Edgar, everyone, of course, wants to know what the conditions of the U.S. Tag Team belts are. And about that tournament, George Weingroff has finally made his final ruling on that. He says that a wild card tournament will take place for the U.S. Tag Team belts, and partners will be picked by drawing names out of a hat. And the date and the place for that tournament will be announced later, so we can have any sorts of combinations teams for that U.S. Tag Team title.
It'll really be interesting when those matches do occur. In fact, the Convertible Blondes could be broken up. George and Leaping Lanny could be broken up. All the teams, nobody knows what the teams are going to be until the drawing actually occurs.
Exactly. Also, our producer has just told me that Ronnie Garvin will be with us today here in the studio. We're going to talk to Ronnie about his condition. Also coming up today, an interview with Apache Lou. And Apache Lou doesn't have any kind words to say about Pistol Pez Watley and the Great Tio. So
we
Apache
saw that match last week, so we understand why there'd be no kind words between Apache Lou and Pez Watley and the Great Tio.
Also today, an interview with Jim Wilson, who's a former pro football player with the Los Angeles Rams. And Jim might possibly be interested in that tag team tournament, so we'll see about that. On Inside ICW today, George Weingroff with the full details on the wild card tournament, and George will tell us how he made up his mind. I'm sure that was a tough decision for George to come to. The Convertible Blondes.
Everybody in the studio audience and everybody on national television that this is the stupidest thing I ever heard of. A wild card tournament. That means that I could be tagged up with Leap and Lanny. They're going to draw names out of the hat. They're doing everything that they can possibly do to split the Convertible Blondes up because they know that in the tournament with the three of us there ain't nobody else got a chance. The ICW, George Weingroff is all behind this, and everybody's plotting against us. He may be with Crusher Broomfield. Who knows? It's the most stupid thing I ever heard, man. I can't believe this.
Crying foul. We'll be back with more International Championship Wrestling after you see this. Ready to go with our first match of the day. Let's go now to the ring for the introductions. Edgar?
And the first match is a one-fall, 15-minute time limit, and introducing in the red corner from Amarillo, Texas, formerly one half of the U.S. Tag Team Championship team of George Weingroff and Leaping Lanny, is none other than Leaping Lanny. And from Springfield, Illinois, in the blue corner at 216 pounds, Chuck Mazzarelli.
There's the bell. The first match is underway. Our referee, Daniel Edwards. Leaping Lanny out of the gate, so to speak. He is...
It's not taking long to get Mazzarelli on the mat. And he's going around and around. Mazzarelli using the ropes to get the break.
Here Coming up a little bit later on, we'll be talking with George Weingroff about all this controversy in his decision in the wild card tournament for the U.S. Tag Team belt.
Right.
A lot of interesting combinations could come out of that. They'll be picking names out of a hat.
They certainly could, and of course, the Convertible Blondes are very upset.
We could have such possibilities. Edgar's Ronnie Garvin and Randy Savage on the same team.
Could you believe a team like that? Mazzarelli in real pain. Lanny working on his foot.
Yes, he is.
An ankle. Has it turned sideways.
Well, the holder of the U.S. Tag Team Championship belts, that means quite a lot of money to the holders, so we wonder if the thoughts of the money would offset any grudges they have against each other.
That is certainly something to consider, but when you consider the animosity that exists between Randy Savage and, say, Ronnie Garvin, it would be something to think about. And can you imagine Pez Watley teaming up with somebody like George Weingroff or Leaping Lanny?
Yes, that.
Or Pez Watley and the Crusher Broomfield. Can you imagine that?
1, 2, 3.
Fans hollering that Mazzarelli was choking Leaping Lanny.
And the referee apparently thought so because he did call for a break. There's one of Leaping Lanny's lead.
Famous
Drop
kick.
Covered completely.
And it's all over, and Leaping Lanny has successfully defeated, and there he does one of his flips. Leaping Lanny, the winner against Chuck Mazzarelli.
Coming up next on Inside International Championship Wrestling, we'll be talking with George Weingroff about his decision and those U.S. Tag Team title belts. We'll be back after this.
The 24th, 8:30 p.m. at the Civic Center. And with me today, I have the Macho Man, the World Heavyweight Champion, Randy Savage. And Randy, George Weingroff is wanting you to sign some matches here for your world title. And what do you think about that?
George Weingroff wants me to sign my world title, huh? Put it up, huh? Weingroff? Hey, get close to the TV set. Get your ear real close because I'm going to tell you something. Now, wait a minute. George Weingroff, man. He can hear all right, but he can't see. Can't see, George Weingroff. You're blind, and you're the promoter of the ICW. And you may be the promoter, man. You might be the head man. But I'm the ICW World Heavyweight Champion. And if anybody doesn't believe it, in Springfield, Illinois, and Decatur, Illinois, just come see me and say something like it as I come down that aisle, and I'll guarantee you, I'll give you a little bit of a lesson, man. Yeah. All you wives, man, bring your husbands that you want out of the house, man, so you can stay at home and fantasize about the #1 sports attraction in the United States and the world today, the Macho Man, Randy Savage, Springfield, Decatur. I don't know.
If you've waited until now to replace your old television set, you were smart, because now is...
Promoter, wrestler George Weingroff is our guest at the moment. George, how did you possibly come about that decision in the wild card tournament?
Well, first of all, let me mention before I get to that is that Pez Watley and the great Tio, they're facing suspension because, you know, I know the people have heard Pez talk about pipe dreams, and this is pipe dreams. Hitting somebody with a pipe is a pretty serious thing, you know, and you know, I don't know what the ICW has in mind, but I have a few ideas myself. Now, you know that the tag team belts, the U.S. tag team belts, which I can say personally are very, very prestigious belts because I speak with experience and they mean a lot of money. Now, we're going to have a wild card tournament, and I believe that this is going to be history in wrestling, and I think it's going to be something that's going to be very, very exciting for the fans. What we've got in mind is that wrestlers will enter as individuals. What I mean is they're going to put their names in if they want to enter the tournament. Now, we'll draw the names out of the hat, and what this means is there could be any combinations. I'm talking about combinations like, you know, just off the top of my head, it could be, you know, Ronnie Garvin, Randy Savage. It could be myself and Rip Rogers. It could possibly be myself and Leaping Lanny, you know, but that is very unlikely. You know, there still is a possibility. Now, this means that wrestlers, we're going to see how bad they want to be champions, because two wrestlers, they might have some differences, Tim, and we're going to see if they want to put them aside so that they can form a respectable tag team, and to see how well they do in this tournament.
As Tim and I were talking in the last segment of the program, that a combination like Pez Watley and Crusher Broomfield would not seem like a likely kind of a tag team.
Well, you're absolutely right, but as I said earlier, these are very prestigious belts, and they mean a lot of money, and we're going to see how well, if they're willing to put their differences aside and go out there and try and win something like the United States Tag Team Championship belt.
George, how did you arrive at the decision to use the wild card?
Well, it was mainly my idea, and there was a lot of thought put behind it. It just didn't come up and we decided, this would be a good idea. There was a lot of thought and a lot of planning to this. And, the ICW is a new era in professional wrestling, and, we just think that this is a fair way to do this, because, it wasn't too long ago that there was a controversial match between Leap and Lanny, my partner, Leap and Lanny. We were wrestling the Convertible Blondes, and the Convertible Blondes, they felt like they won the match, and naturally I felt like we won the match, and maybe, I've been over backwards a little bit, but I wanted to be fair, and I thought that this was the right thing to do.
The Convertible Blondes are saying, though, that your wild card idea is simply a ploy to keep them from being a team in that.
Well, only does it hurt the Convertible. Well, they're complaining about it hurting them, but what about myself and Leap and Lanny, who have been two-time U.S. Tag Team Champions? There's a possibility I'm not going to be with my partner anymore. There's no telling who I could get, and there's wrestlers from all over the country and all over the world that they want to enter this tournament, and we've got a lot of promoters from different cities and different states that are asking for this, and as of yet, we haven't decided, where it's going to be, but it's in demand, and I think it's going to be dynamite. I think the fans are going to be excited about it. It's going to be really interesting to see exactly what does happen.
Now, though the place and time has not been set yet,
it hasn't.
all of the matches will occur on the same date or time?
Yes.
Okay, George, you acting as a dual role of being the ICW promoter and also a wrestler, was this decision hard for you to come to because of the dual role you play? You had to, of course, think about the interest of the ICW organization, but then, too, you had to think about your interest as a wrestler and also as a former U.S. Tag Team Champion.
Right. Well, I'm trying to make my duties as promoter and wrestler. I'm trying not to make it a conflict of interest. So I'm doing my best to be fair to everybody.
Okay. Thank you for being with us, George. When we come back, a very interesting match, a six-man tag team match with a curfew time limit. We'll be back after this.
Wrestling, contact ICW Wrestling, Post Office Box 24382, Lexington, Kentucky 40524. Wrestling fans, ICW Wrestling is coming to your town with top TV wrestling stars. Springfield, Illinois, Saturday, April 10th, 8:30 p.m. at the Prairie Capital Convention Center. At Decatur, Illinois, Saturday, April 24th, 8:30 p.m. at the Civic Center. ICW Wrestling, the best there is, be there.
First time ever in Springfield, Illinois. We'll be there Saturday, April the 10th, 8:30 p.m. at the Prairie Capital Convention Center. And in Decatur, Illinois, Saturday, April the 24th at 8:30 p.m. at the Civic Center. And with me today, I have Leaping Lanny, who is a top contender for the world title.
Promoter George Weingroff is putting a lot of pressure right now on Randy Savage, hoping that he might defend that title in one of those two cities, Springfield, Illinois, and Decatur, Illinois, on the 10th and the 24th of April. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm a very serious contender for that belt. And it might be me that faces Randy Savage. And March 13th, 1979 in Halifax, Nova Scotia, I lost that belt to Randy Savage, and I believe that being a former champion, I might have a very good advantage over him. Because what a man does once, he can do again. And I'm going to get that Savage, and I'm going to take that belt away. I mean business. Springfield, Illinois, and Decatur, Illinois, you haven't seen ICW wrestling yet, but it's very fast-paced. And judging by my fan mail, we're very popular in those areas. The wrestling there is, well, it's the best they've ever seen. And because of that,
I intend to get in there, get to the top of the mountain, take Randy Savage and put him down where he belongs. You know, the man has got big 20-inch arms, but the man has a big ego problem, and everything he is, all his spinal column is attached to that belt. And when I take it away, he's going to fall like a house of cards.
Taffy's Club Sandwich is a meal in...
Crusher Broomfield. And at 205 pounds from Shelbyville, Kentucky, one of the contenders for the Rookie of the Year, Bill Martin. And from the island of Hawaii, 240 pounds, Chief Tapu. And for the first time in weeks in the blue corner, we have the entire team of the Convertible Blondes at 218 pounds from Charlotte, North Carolina, Gary Royal. At 220 pounds from Atlanta, Georgia, Ricky Starr. And 222 pounds from Hollywood, California, none other than hustler Rip Rogers, the team of the Convertible Blondes. The fans don't like them very well.
Okay, this is the most falls to a curfew, so this match could be with us for quite a while here. Let's see what happens.
We ought to see some great wrestling action. Of course, Crusher Broomfield is the lead man for the
Crushers are ready to
team
go.
of Martin, Tapu, and Broomfield.
Okay, we'll see who'll be in first for the Blondes. Should be interesting to see. Crusher Broomfield is definitely going to be in for his side.
He is there and ready.
Bill Martin and Chief Tapu on the outside of the ring. Crusher is ready to go. Crusher complaining as they come on, let's see.
Well, we know Rip Rogers won't be starting for the Convertible Blondes.
It's going to be
Gary Royal won't
Ricky Starr.
Ricky Starr telling Crusher Broomfield to shut his mouth. And Crusher, of course.
Crusher Broomfield. Ricky Starr at it.
Definitely have to give Ricky Starr an E for effort. He is not running from Crusher Broomfield.
No, he's not.
Of course, the most falls to curfew. This could be several matches. Crusher Broomfield drop kicking Ricky Starr.
That's interesting. Okay, here comes Gary Royal in. Bill Martin.
Of course, this is the first time we've seen Gary wrestle in weeks because he had that broken nose that Biggs and Lanny gave him.
Gary seems to be in fairly good shape, too.
He apparently stayed in training while he was recouping from that broken nose.
Yes, he did. No.
Martin is in the corner, but he's not making the tag.
Yes, he is
making the tag.
Chief Tapu.
Of course, the Chief was standing there patiently waiting.
The other members of the Convertible Blondes tried to warn Gary Royal that Chief Tapu was behind him there. Okay, attack to Crusher Broomfield. Gary didn't have time to get up.
Did not have time to get up before Crusher Broomfield put that big arm across the back of his head. And look, Rip Rogers wants no part of Crusher Broomfield. Gary trying to make the tag, did in fact make the tag.
Rip's going to cautiously come in here.
Very cautiously. He's complaining that Crusher Broomfield's too big. And I have to kind of agree with him that Crusher Broomfield is some massive man.
Crusher has him in a headlock. There's a tag to Bill Martin. Crusher didn't stay with Hustler Rip Rogers very long.
He did not. And of course, Rip, I'm sure, was relieved that Crusher chose
Look at that.
make that tag.
Bill Martin climbing the poles there and taking Rip down. And Crusher in a shouting match now with the Convertible Blondes from one side of the ring to the other.
You can certainly see why Bill Martin is a contender for Rookie of the Year because he's an agile, capable wrestler, just an excellent wrestler.
Okay, tag made. Back to Ricky Starr. It's Ricky Starr and Bill Martin at it. There's a tag to Gary Royal. It was Gary Royal, Bill Martin. Gary Royal.
Last week that we had Ricky Starr and Bill Martin in a single match.
Yes, we did.
Ended in a draw. Of course, there comes the Chief Tapu for the team of Tapu, Martin,
Tapu
Broomfield.
took Gary Royal by surprise. Gary Royal unaware that tag was made.
Gary Royal's dizzy.
Crusher Broomfield's becoming quite a cheerleader over there for his side. He is encouraging his teammates. Crusher Broomfield coming in because he felt Hustler Rip Rogers was in the ring illegally. Meanwhile,
The Convertible Blondes are working on Chief Tapu in the corner while referee Dale Edwards argues with Crusher Broomfield. All three blondes in the ring. No, Rip Rogers is out of the ring, and Gary is leaving the ring.
now, okay. Two of the blondes in the ring again. There goes Ricky Starbuck. Hustler Rip Rogers.
Tapu trying to get the... No, he's not trying to get the 10. They're just punishing Chief Tapu.
Crusher Broomfield doesn't like that either. There is back in the ring complaining.
Referee Dale Edwards running Crusher Broomfield and Bill Martin out of the ring while Ricky starts thrust Chief Tapu's head turnbuckle. And they're really putting the punishment on Chief Tapu over there.
Okay.
Their corner.
Crusher Broomfield didn't like that either. He's back in again.
Referee Dale Edwards is really giving the team of Broomfield, Martin, and Tapu a rough time.
That's what Rip Rogers
getting away with about anything.
Karate chop to the neck region of Chief Tapu. Against the turnbuckles.
Is Royal going to try to get the cover?
He missed on that one.
Missed on it. Chief Tapu rolled over, but he rolled the wrong way and rolled back toward the Convertible Blondes corner.
Okay, here comes Rip Rogers working on Chief Tapu. Chief Tapu needs to get back over to his corner.
He does indeed. Ricky Starr back into the Convertible Blondes. Putting a lot of punishment on Chief Tapu, and that's because if he's going to make it. He did not get to the corner.
He tried.
Bill Martin was ready for the tag. Get the tag made.
There's the tag. Here comes Bill Martin in.
Bill Martin is in to try to get revenge for the team against Ricky Starr. It looked like Ricky Starr was about to extend his hand.
Okay, what's Gary Royal doing? Gary Royal on the top rope. Bill Martin sends him down.
Bill Martin was ready for him, and look at Bill Martin go. Look at Bill Martin go.
Okay, who's in the ring here for the Blondes? It's going to be Hustler Rip Rogers. Both men down on that one.
And if Martin can make it to the corner, Crusher Broomfield is ready to go. Crusher is
Bill Martin
ready to go. And then
He made it.
Makes the tag. And he gets Crusher Broomfield working on the head of Hustler Rip Rogers. And now Crusher's going to get a little revenge for the
Crusher's
team.
going crazy out there, Edgar. He is up and over.
Rip Rogers making plenty noise.
There's a tag to Gary Royal.
Gary Royal, that really won't Crusher Broomfield.
Oh, Gary Royal caught it on that one.
There it is.
Okay, there it is. The
Official
official.
broken loose in the ring, and the team of Crusher Broomfield, Bill Martin, and Chief Tapu successful in whipping the Convertible Blondes.
Okay, that's the first fall. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with a continuation of this Most Falls match after you see this.
What's the matter, Grandpa?
Checking the tires so we'll be safe on our picnic. You know, when you've been driving as long as I have, you learn to be careful. Before I go on a trip, I check everything. And before I renewed my car insurance, I did some checking too. I went to 6 different insurance companies and got 6 different rates. Those rates varied by more than 40%, even for a careful driver over 50, like me. Well, that made me stop and think. And that's why I'm glad I switched to Colonial Penn, the insurance specialist for people 50 and over. They believe that experienced and careful drivers deserve a break on rates. Know what that got me? A savings of over $80. Oh, and they even gave me this tire gauge free.
If you're a careful driver, 50 or over, Colonial Penn Insurance Company may save you 40... We're back, and before we continue with the six-man tag team most falls to a curfew match, we talked to Apache Lou recently, who was in the locker room of an arena in the Midwest. Let's take a look at this interview with Apache Lou.
Apache Lou, man of very few words and much action. But this time I have something to say. You hear me good, especially you, Teal, Pez Wadley. I'm out for revenge, Teal, for what you did to my blood brother, my other Indian friend. The Indian, what you did, Jerry. What you did to him cannot be forgotten, and I will avenge him. You mark my words. And for you, Pez Wadley, another animal. Both of you are animals. But I'll tell you one thing. You see this finger here? A beast. 550-pound bear bit this finger off. And I never was satisfied until I conquered that bear. You look for trouble when you come to Apache Lou. Apache Lou never forgets. You must pay, Teal. Pez Wadley, you will pay too. I don't care where. I don't care how far I have to go. Now I am here, and I'm out for one thing. I'm out for blood. Because I am a savage. And a savage, when she gets riled up, he must only do one thing. That is fight. Fight. Apache Lou has spoken. Fight! Fight! Fight!
Okay, Apache Lou fired up against Pistol Pez Wadley and the Great T.O. Let's go back now to the continuation of this six-man tag team match. Most falls to the curfew. Crusher Broomfield, Chief Tapu, Bill Martin taking the first fall. The bell has rung. Referee Dale Edwards trying to count one of the Blondes into the ring. Let's see who's going to be in. Nobody wanted to come out against Crusher Broomfield.
Come out against Crusher, and I can see why. Of course,
Gary Royal
defeated Gary Royal in that first fall.
Yes, he did. So it's Gary Royal against Crusher Broomfield. Gary Royal's already back in the corner again.
And outside the rope.
Yes, he was. Here we go.
Crusher is so massive and so powerful.
Okay, here comes Hustler Rip Rogers, Gary Royal.
Ready to leave the ring.
Yes, he is. The blow to the midsection. Up and over, there we go. Hustler Rip Rogers coming down from about 7 feet above the mat.
I thought we were going to get to see a little bit of Crusher Broomfield with that big leg drop that he does.
There's that atomic drop. Okay, Bill Martin coming in now for his team. Bill Martin applying the headlock.
Screaming into the ring, asking Hustler Rip Rogers to install stars.
Okay, Hustler Rip Rogers counters with an atomic drop to Bill Martin after the atomic drop that Crusher Broomfield dealt him.
To get to the corner. Ricky Starr working on the arm of Bill Martin. He's got pain in the arm, and of course that atomic drop had pain elsewhere.
Okay, Rick Starr in a shouting match with Crusher Broomfield while he continues to work on the arm of Bill Martin.
And the tag is about to
No.
did not make it. Ricky Starr's back to the...
Crusher Broom, every time more than one of the Blondes are in the ring at the same time, Crusher Broomfield quickly out of there to draw the referee's attention to it.
The referee, Dale Edwards, is right on Crusher every time he comes into the ring. Again, you see an example of Bill Martin's just tremendous coordination and quite an
There's
athlete.
the tag to Chief Tapu. Gary Royal didn't like that too well. He was trying to
Didn't
get
like it
back.
at all. Chief is now working on the arm of Gary Royal, and here comes Crusher again.
Of course, this is a most falls match. The team of Crusher Broomfield, Chief Tapu, Bill Martin lead the action now with one fall to nothing.
They do indeed, and of course they've riled the Crusher.
Crusher Broomfield is...
He's yelling
really
something.
torturing.
Oh, he's saying ask him.
Oh.
He's saying ask him. And Gary Royal not ready to submit. Crusher Broomfield not letting him to the corner. And he's going to make the tag.
Bill Martin.
They're still working on the arm of Gary Royal. But, of course, Gary Royal using the hair and managed to get to his corner.
Okay, here comes Rip Rogers in now.
And now
Rip Rogers going to work on the arm of Bill Martin.
But again, look at the agility of Bill Martin. Making reversals.
Of course, we can't take anything away from the Convertible Blondes. They are definitely known for their teamwork, and they're showing that here by tagging in and out at the right time. Okay, here comes Rip Rogers back in.
They stay fresh while they're
do.
punishing one of the other teams.
Here comes Crusher Broomfield in. Broomfield complaining that more than one blonde is in the ring at the same time.
Gary Royal now working on the head of Bill Martin. Bill Martin trying to...
What is Crusher doing here, Edgar? Crusher's trying to climb up on the rope. He was trying to sneak around on the other side and climb up on the rope.
But Bill is managing to get to the corner, and there the tag is made, and here comes Crusher Broomfield.
Okay, Gary Royal.
Almost no parts of it. The arm across the top of the head of Gary Royal. Kind of the turnbuckle. Crusher Broomfield working on the head of Gary Royal.
Yes, he is.
And now fist to the face.
Another one.
Another one here. Crusher Broomfield, such a massive man. 454 pounds, and now for a slam. And is he going to do the cover?
He missed. He missed. I think Rick Starr had something to do with that, though.
Rick Starr did indeed.
Crusher's down.
Can you believe Ricky Starr putting that punishment to Crusher Broomfield?
Here comes Rip Rogers in now. Bill Martin and Chief Tapu trying to get into this action.
And now, of course, Crusher Broomfield in the corner of the Convertible Blondes, and all three blondes are working on it.
And what's Rip Rogers doing? Rip Rogers is outside of the ring and doing something. They're holding Crusher Broomfield with Crusher Broomfield.
Crusher Broomfield in the Convertible Blondes
Could be in a bit of trouble here. Hey, Chief Tapu's in the ring now. He's upset over this situation, but the referee sends him back out.
If Crusher Broomfield can get out of that corner, he needs to.
Yes, he does.
The Convertible Blondes are putting a punishment on him in that corner.
Hustler Rip Rogers really working on Crusher Broomfield now.
And now Gary Royal is back in for the Convertible Blondes. Is he going to be able to? Absolutely not.
No, he's not. Look at this. Crusher coming back here.
But he's still in that corner, and now Ricky Starr is grabbing him by the hair, and Rip Rogers is grabbing him by the hair. Crusher did manage to get out of that corner that time.
There's the tag. Here comes Chief Tapu in. Chief Tapu working on Gary Royal. Crusher Broomfield down on the floor here. Chief Tapu all over Gary Royal.
For their team.
Here comes a tag to Rick Starr. Crusher still on the floor. Look at this. Up and over. He missed on that one, though. Tag made to Gary Royal. Gary Royal in there for the Convertible Blondes. Rip Rogers over here going at it with Bill Martin in the floor.
Well, he came over to get Crusher Broomfield, but of course Bill Martin was ready.
Okay, there it goes. There's a pin.
One fall for the Convertible Blondes and one fall for the team of Crusher Broomfield, Chief Tapu, and Bill Martin.
We are going to take a break. We will be back with the continuation of this match after you see this.
Leo Sayers
Productions presents 70s Gold. Robert John.
And the cat in the cradle and the silver spoon.
Harry Davis.
The boy blue and the man on the moon.
When the lights go down, John the California town. 70s Gold, a sensational two-record set featuring 30 of the greatest hits ever assembled in one album.
With a song of sweet.
Dire Straits. Blondie. This outstanding collection contains 30 full-length hits by the original.
Okay, we are back, and before we go on with the continuation of this match, we recently talked with former football player for the Los Angeles Rams, Jim Wilson, and Jim could be interested in this wild card tournament coming up for the U.S. Tag Team title belts. Let's take a look at that taped interview right now.
Jim Wilson, I wanted to take a few minutes here, have the opportunity to speak to everybody here in this in the Kentucky area. You know, Thunderbolt and I have been in the wrestling business for a long time. I played coach football for 7 years, been with the Los Angeles Rams. In fact, I even used to come up here and play against the Kentucky Wildcats when I was playing for University of Georgia and Vince Dooley. And y'all remember University of Georgia from last year. My football career gave me the opportunity to get into professional wrestling. And I'll tell you, I learned the hard way, just like I learned the hard way in football. You got to get out and you got to do it. And the only way that you can get ahead in the business is to get over somebody, beat them, whip them any way you can. I came up here for one explicit purpose. Understand there's a lot of people running a lot of things down on people trying to do something the right way in Kentucky. Well, I'm up here to get any belt that I can legitimately get my hands on, and you people are going to be the judge. That's all I ask is an opportunity. You know, you put a pair of tights on, get you some shoes on, and we'll get down anywhere, anytime, any place, anybody. So I'm issuing an open public challenge to everybody in this area. And I've paid my dues. I've been through the whole thing. I paid my price in football, paid my prices in wrestling. I'm here for one reason, and that is to win the belts and to represent the people. And I just want to take this opportunity to say how happy I am to be here in this area with y'all, and y'all be looking for me soon because I will be around.
Okay, Jim Wilson, former professional football player with Los Angeles Rams, issuing a public challenge to anyone and all. Let's go on now with the continuation of the six-man tag team match. The score is all tied, you may say.
All tied up. The Convertible Blondes won one fall, and, of course, the team of Broomfield, Martin, and Tapu had one fall. Of course, they started back out with Chief Tapu was pinned for that victory for the Convertible Blondes. But now Bill Martin's working on the arm of Gary Royal. I'm hopeful that the team of Martin, Tapu, and Broomfield conferred in the corner and decided to try to stay out of the Convertible Blondes corner. But that's a dangerous place to be.
Yes, it is. And a quick reminder, we told you at the top of the program that our producer told us that Ronnie Garvin is in the television studios today, and we are hoping to have time left a little bit later on to have a word with Ronnie about his condition. We will actually see how Ronnie is faring for that lead pipe incident.
Of course, George said that the ICW was investigating that incident, but he didn't say really what they were thinking about doing.
He mentioned a possible fine or something, so I had to ask Ronnie about that. Saw some slides last week that Leaping Lanny had of Ronnie Garvin's back and that injury, so we'll have to find out firsthand from Ronnie Garvin. Meanwhile, back in the ring,
was Gary Royal trying to get the pin on Bill Martin. Bill's a powerful young wrestler. He got Gary Royal on the mat.
Only one shoulder down those referee Dale Edwards checks. So they come back to their feet, and there is a tag to Chief Tapu.
Haven't seen such a Broomfield in action yet.
That's 2 or 3 times that Gary Royal has been caught by surprise that the tag was made and the opponent was at his back.
Plenty of surprises with the Convertible Blondes. They're usually the ones who provide the surprises, though. And now here comes the Crusher.
Comes the Crusher.
And the Crusher does have a score to set with the Convertible Blondes. But again, he's going to that corner.
Gary Royal backs right into his own corner. Here comes Hustler Rip Rogers, cautiously in.
Of course, referee Dale Edwards arguing Over the rope, Ricky Starr was a legitimate.
Ricky Starr was a legitimate. Okay, I wonder what was going on there. Rip Rogers himself was confused as to who tagged who.
The Crusher has Ricky Starr on the mat. He indeed has a score to settle.
Crusher Broomfield
Working on the nose.
the nose and the eyes, yes.
Crusher Broomfield does have a score to settle with the Convertible Blondes in that last match, and he is going to, in fact, do a big knee across the chest to get Ricky Starr. Ricky has a big face. He goes to the wrong corner and tries to tag Bill Martin. That's what Steve Tapu, Bill Martin, and Crusher Broomfield really working on Ricky Starr.
Okay, here comes Bill Martin back in. Blow to the midsection. Across the top of the neck.
And there goes a slam.
Down.
Only a one count. And, of course, Ricky Starr is trying to get to the corner and does, in fact, get to the corner. And here comes Hustler Rip Rogers. And put Bill Martin right on the mat. Oh, a foot to the back of the neck by Hustler Rip Rogers.
All 6 men showing quite a lot of endurance, though. The total time of this match so far has been almost 28 minutes, so...
It has, and of course, we've had the break.
The breaks have given them a short while to rest up, but they have taken a lot of punishment.
They are indeed, and of course, the Convertible Blondes are putting plenty of punishment on Bill Martin right now. Gary Royal coming off that top rope, off the second rope. And Martin needs to get back to the corner and get the tag made because Gary Royal and Rip Rogers are putting a real punishment on him over in the Blondes' corner. Powerful body slam there by Gary Royal.
One count.
The Convertible Blondes and the team of Tapu, Martin, and Broomfield is all tied up.
Up and over again. Comes Hustler Rip Rogers in for the Blondes, working on Bill Martin. Almost. Bill Martin's desperately trying to get over for a tag, but he doesn't make it.
Doesn't make it, and Ricky Starr now has him by the hair, pulling him up. And for a slam, power slam. But he managed to keep him from getting the pin. Convertible Blondes, a real tag team.
Here comes Crusher Broomfield in again. Chief Tapu had enough of that. He can't hit it.
In this corner, the Convertible Blondes are really working on Bill Martin.
They had Bill Martin over in their corner. Looks like they had Crusher Broomfield a while ago. There's a 2 count.
Again. Bill needs to get over to the corner. Crusher's calling out to him, come on, Bill, but Bill Martin has not been able to get to the corner to make the tag. The Convertible Blondes are really just plenty of punishment on young Bill Martin. But Bill Martin was able to reverse and got a 1 count on Crusher, Rip Rogers. Now Ricky Starr in for the Convertible Blondes, working on the arm of Bill Martin. But Bill simply can't get to the corner.
He's close. And a knee to the neck. Bill Martin.
Bill was close in the corner, but he just can't get over there far enough to get the tag made.
Mind you, this is a most falls to the curfew match, and so far, the Convertible Blondes have 1 fall to their credit, and Crusher Broomfield, Chief Tapu, and Bill Martin have
Tag is
1.
made, and here comes Crusher Broomfield to work on Ricky Starr. And of course, Gary Royal now in Convertible Blondes. Bill Martin took plenty of punishment before he finally got that tag made.
Here's that bear hug.
Bear hug.
Ring the bell. Okay, the Convertible Blondes were disqualified.
And therefore the winner is Chief Tapu, Crusher Broomfield, and Bill Martin.
In the second fall there, the winner is, as Edgar said, Chief Tapu, Crusher Broomfield, and Bill Martin, because the Convertible Blondes were disqualified. As you recall,
The interference rule.
the interference rule the referee Jim Bunning made quite some time ago. They interfered. So there we go. We're back with action now.
Fourth ball. The fourth ball. Crusher Broomfield starting out on Gary Royal, and he really has a score to settle with the Convertible Blondes. They are ahead now, and if they can win this ball, of course, they are the undisputed champions today in this curfew match because they've got 2 balls to their credit, 1 because of a pin, and the second because of a disqualification.
Comes Bill Martin back in now.
And Bill has a score to settle with Gary Royal.
Yes, he does.
He indeed has a score to settle.
Okay, our television time has expired. Our television time has expired, so the winners, Edgar,
Winners for the day, Steve Tapu, Gusher Broomfield, and Bill Martin.
so it's all over with. The winners of this exciting six-man tag team match. We'll be back, and hopefully we will have some time left to speak to Ronnie Garvin. We'll be back after you see this.
If your school, club, or civic organization would like to earn money by sponsoring wrestling, contact ICW Wrestling, Post Office Box 24382, Lexington, Kentucky 40524. Wrestling fans, ICW Wrestling is coming to your town with top TV wrestling stars. Springfield, Illinois, Saturday, April 10th, 8:30 p.m. at the Prairie Capital Convention Center in Decatur, Illinois. Saturday, April 24th, 8:30 p.m. at the Civic Center. ICW Wrestling, the best there is, be there.
Be sure and mark your calendar for April the 10th at 8:30 p.m. at the Prairie Capital Convention Center, Saturday at Springfield, Illinois. It'll be the first time ICW Wrestling is in Springfield. And also Decatur, Illinois, Saturday, April the 24th at 8:30 p.m. at the Civic Center. And with me today, I have the great one of a great Tio and the bad Sister Pez Watley.
You got that right, the great one and the bad piece of bad Watley. If anybody in this area in Illinois ever see the great one and the bad one, you better get your ticket early because when we walk in that ring, sparks going to fly everywhere.
And Pez?
That's right. It's going to be most sparks flying all over the place in Springfield on the 10th of April. And in Decatur, you know, me and the great one, we wanted to come to Springfield before then. But everybody in there at the ICW say, please, April 10th is the day because of the fact that y'all are wreaking so much havoc and destruction of Ronnie Garvin that they can't take it all at once. They have to prepare. So, Ronnie Garvin, you get ready because the great one and the bad one is coming your way, sucker. And we won't be jiving. We'll be coming your way and in your face. Because from now on, every time you see us, you're going to bow and say, Mr. Great One and Mr. Bad One, sir.
TV guy.